Hey guys, I have another directed drawing for you all, and this one is more Valentine's Day themed with the colors and things like that. And the theme of this one is you'll always have a pizza my heart. So we're just using a play on words, and we are drawing heart-shaped pizzas with heart-shaped pepperonis. And you don't have to make your pizzas look realistic like I did. You could do like imaginary colors and things like that, like pink pepperonis and things like that. But I just decided to make mine look more traditional and realistic. And if you do have younger kiddos that are doing this and they have trouble with words and doing their letters and stuff like that, you could have them just make the pizzas and then not do you'll always have a. You could just say pizza my and then draw a heart, so it's less letters for them, and so they are not as frustrated or intimidated to do it. And I will actually show you that adapted version for the littler kids when I do mine. So I won't show you these letters, I'll just show you more of the pizza my and then I'll draw a heart. So that will give you some options for little ones. So when we first start out, we're going to do two of the big hearts, and really all you need is just a piece of paper, pencil with a good eraser, markers, and crayons. So we're going to start off with our pizza shaped hearts. And I tried to do one like kind of going like towards this way, and then kind of one like going that way. So there's my first one. And I may have made it too small. But then here is my second one, and I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger. So you've got two hearts, and I'm going to make mine a little bit darker so y'all can see it a little bit better. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to make the crust portion of the pizza. So I'm going to actually come back and make another outside portion of the heart. And it is totally okay if your crust doesn't end up coming all the way on the paper and you have to kind of go off of the paper like I'm having to do here, okay? So don't stress out about that. And it's okay if you start running out of space and look, you have to kind of pretend that they're overlapping each other. So here's the crust. So that's the crust of the first pizza. I'll make it a little bit darker so y'all can see. So you can kind of see that that one's coming off of the page and it's not like a perfect heart right there. Totally fine. And then now I'm going to start on the next crust. And the reason I did it this way is because if I did the crust inside of this one, my pizza would be really, really small. And so I'm making my pizza bigger by going on the outside rather than the inside. So again, I'm going on the outside again, and I'm going to be overlapping this heart. Okay, I'm going to make my lines a little bit darker. And then I'm going to go on this side and make my crust. And so now you've kind of got like all these lines overlapping, which is fine, but you're just going to take your handy dandy eraser and erase just all those extra marks that are there in the middle. Okay, so you can kind of see how it looks like they're just like overlapping each other. And now what we're going to do is we're going to draw the heart pepperonis. And I kind of just drew one size first, and then I came in with like some smaller ones. Here's your heart little pepperonis. Okay. So this is going to be the cheese, pepperoni, and then this part right here, this line is going to be our sauce a little bit, and then there's our crust. So I'll add my pepperonis on this one. And don't worry about your hearts like being perfect. Don't worry about it. Okay. know some of y'all stress out when you make hearts and think that they have to be perfect, but it is totally okay if they're not. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the letters, but like I told you earlier, I am not going to do the you'll always have a. I'm going to show you the adapted version for little kids, so just for it to say pizza, my, and then I'm going to draw a heart. But basically we're just doing like bubble letters, and you're going to get to see the same concept when I'm doing these two words right here, okay? But if you want to do the you'll always, I just did it up here, and then I overlapped it over my hearts, and then I just erased the marks that you would see, just like we did here when we wanted to overlap these hearts. And you'll see that when I do it right here with the pizza, my heart. And I think what I might do is put pizza and then my, and draw the heart right there. So I'm going to kind of switch it up a little bit on us. So here is pizza. And here is me doing the bubble letters, so y'all can kind of get an idea. And I just like doing the bubble ones because I think it kind of gives it a retro feel, but feel free to do your own type of fonts and lettering. So pizza. And then the Z's, I have a really hard time with the Z's, so I draw them regularly first. And you can see how I'm overlapping over the heart right now. That's totally fine. So that will at least get you figuring out where you want to place them. So now we're going to do the bubbles. And usually what I have to go do is I'll draw them regularly, and then I'll go back out and make the bubble. And then I'll have to kind of come back and make a curved line on those points from where I drew the guideline. Okay, so there's my Z. It's not really totally looking the way I want it to, but I think I finally got it. All right, now here's my next one. And I try to go out with my letters more than in, just so that way they're bigger, rather than making them smaller. So drawing them outwards this way rather than in. So there's my Z's, and you can see that I have those lines right here. You can see those lines right there from my heart. I'm just going to erase that, so that way you can't even see them in my letters. So then it looks like it's overlapping. And then now let's go to the A. And there's your A. And then again, there are those pencil marks right there where we're overlapping, and I'm just going to erase those. Okay, so now we have pizza, and then I'm going to do my right here. And with the M, it always is easier for me to just draw the M first, and then I bubble it in. And you can kind of see as I do this, like I have to erase it like several times to get it the way that I want to. So don't get frustrated. And then here comes the Y. The bubble Y. Okay. So there's my, and then I'm just going to draw like a big bubble heart. Like that. Okay. So pizza, my heart. So this is the easier version, but like I said, you can go back and add you'll always have a, if you decide you want to do that. And then for coloring it, what I always suggest to do if you're wanting to use like a mix of crayons and or a mix of crayons and markers, start with markers first, because if you start getting the wax of the crayon on there first, your marker is not going to take, and it's just going to swipe right off of that wax of the crayon. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the crust, and I tried to use like a skin tone. You could also like use a yellow for the crust, or also just like a brown. It's totally up to you. So here's my crust. And I'm just going to do this on one of the hearts because you'll get the idea on both of the hearts once I do it on one. And now I'm going to come in with this marker and I'm going to try to make like some squiggly lines to show the sauce. Okay, so just kind of wiggle your marker around for your sauce. Okay, and then I'm also going to go ahead and outline my pepperoni hearts. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and color my crust and all of the pizza. So for the crust, I did like a mix of a skin tone, a little bit of just like yellow, and a little bit of brown. So these were like the three combos for the crust. So what I first did was I just took the skin tone and I lightly just like went over the whole pizza like this. Because this is also going to count as some of your cheese as well. So I just went over the whole pizza. Even the pepperonis, because once you color them in red, you're not going to see the skin tone underneath of it anyway. Then I take this brown and I just try to kind of like get it in places to kind of look like it's been like cooked in the oven. Just to kind of give it some dimension and also like some contrast. So there's just a little bit of brown. And then now I'm going to come in with a little bit of yellow as well. Not very much. Just to kind of give it that like crust breadstick kind of look. And then if you want to come back in with more brown to kind of darken it up and add a little bit more contrast, you can as well. So there's the crust. And then I'm also going to come in a little bit with that yellow on the cheese right here. Right. And then now I'm going to go ahead and move on to my hearts. And just make sure, like, if you are looking for red, that it actually says red. I don't know if my camera's focusing. Make sure that it says red and not red violet, because this is the actual red. The red violet's going to be a little bit more pink. So now we're going to color in our pepperonis. Okay, so you get the idea with that. Then I even kind of come in and I fill in those sauce lines with some crayon over the marker just to make it look more like fluid and sauce-like. So just try to kind of like trace those squiggly lines several times, like really filling that in. Okay, and then I even kind of like took some lines and like with the red to make it look like some sauce was peeking out under the cheese and did it like that as well. And then I took a black crayon and I just outlined the shape of my heart just to make it like really stand out. And I did this like several times like that just to make it stand out. And you can still see the brown, but just to make it kind of pop off of the page more. And then now you're going to trace over your letters with the marker. And I used some pinks. And at first I wasn't too sure about filling in with the black crayon, but now I really, really like it. I wasn't sure about it. So trace over your letters with your marker of your choice. And then now you can go ahead and fill them in with your crayon. And so I'm going to do this one black again because I really, really liked the pink and the black. And so you're just going to fill in your bubble letters with your crayon. And I even kind of mixed some purple in too with the black, and it made it like really stand out. And for like your heart and stuff down here, you could fill it in however you wanted to with whatever colors. Just make sure if you use marker that you do that first, crayon last. So, and then here is my finished product again. So I think that this one's a fun one just because it has a fun play on words. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you like and subscribe, guys. See you next time. Bye.